We'd like to thank CarryFit for sponsoring our first season of the Babywearing podcast. CarryFit is not just a carrier, but a whole parenting support package. Get the carrier designed to help you and your baby bond and move together your way. Also get access to the CarryFit app, which includes postnatal support in baby wearing, core and pelvic floor, sleep, fitness, and so much more. Check out CarryFit and all they offer at www.getcarryfit.com. You can also use our code CoorieCarry for a discount when you buy.
Hello and welcome to the Coorie and Carry On podcast. I'm Laurna.
And I'm Gemma.
And we are trained carrying consultants.
Here to help you carry your children safely.
So we are having a really good session today because obviously we are right next to each other rather than being on separate screens. So It's actually so nice to do a proper podcast without any awkward silences we have to edit out.
Mm-hmm.
So a topical one today, we are going to talk about carrying in the heat because it is starting to get a wee bit cozy.
Yeah.
So we need to let people know what they need to know. So what do they need to know?
They need to know stuff, I'm sure. Carrying in the heat is it's a big question come on as the weather starts to get warmer. People are always worried, how many layers do I need to put on my child? Do I need a special carrier? Do I just hide from the sun? So what do I do? Obviously we're in Scotland, so
we don't get much sun.
No, we've got that beautiful pale blue colouring and
transparent skin.
Yes, very vampire. So it does make it a little bit harder for us to stay safe in the sun, but we're going to give you lots of hints and tips and thoughts on how to do it nicely and safely. So what would be your first go-to thing?
Dressing lightly. That is one thing. Obviously, we will talk about carrying the cold another episode, but everyone tends to overdress their children and babies any time of the year. So dress lightly. Think about light clothes, linen, cotton. Try stay away from polyester clothes because cotton is nice and breathable and softer, and just less is more when you're talking about layers and carrying, isn't it?
Thin light layers. So instead of putting them in like one thing, put them in several thin layers so that you can take off as they get too hot. I mean, I've got pictures of my kids in just nappies and carriers. Because it was
nappies
just
and a sun hat.
Yes,
because it's
too hot.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've got a picture of my daughter, and she's just in a nappy, and I've just got my bra on and my dungarees because I was far too hot.
And for that one day of summer that we get,
it was beautiful.
It was 2 weeks ago. So it's easy to have light layers and less, and also think about like thin leggings as well, or like loose leggings or linen trousers for babies, because sometimes their wee legs can get red marks, which can happen, and it's not really that much of an issue most of the time. It's like sock marks or a bra mark. When you take your bra off at the end of the day, you've got wee red marks. So, but a lot of people get worried. They can be an issue with some children. Most of the time, it's fine. And if you're not sure, then please reach out and ask us. So the next one is staying shaded.
So like Lorna's saying, use sun hats. So that can be a big floppy hat for you that covers everybody. That's a good look. Or floppy hat for the baby, floppy hat for you. Staying in the shade rather than in the direct sunlight. Literally, I was sitting in the back garden because we had some sun for a change, and I managed to get sunburned. Sitting in the back garden because I didn't sit in the shade and I didn't wear any sunscreen. Again, sunscreen is another thing we talk about with shading. Because obviously a lot of people want to put sun cream on their baby, can't do it under 6 months. So 6 months plus, use sun cream. Under 6 months, you can get carriers that have UV built into the fabric, which can offer a layer of sun protection as well.
And we'll go over some of them at the end as well to chat about them.
So sun cream though is a good option. You can get sun cream on your carrier, and you might hear some sling librarians say, please be very careful with our carriers because
don't wash out.
Don't wash out, they're oily. So in order for us to wash them out, we have to sort of use toothbrush and fairy liquid, and it's so hard to clean up.
Please save us some trouble.
Please. But absolutely, if you are using sun cream, just put it on maybe 10 minutes, let it soak in, and then use the carrier.
Let it dry.
If
it's yours, don't worry about it.
Do what you like. But if it's on loan from our library, we're going to ask you to to be a little bit careful. But yeah, staying in the shade, floppy hats, covering up, or sun cream.
Or a brolly, you get nice UV brollies. Oh, yeah, sorry. Parasol. Get a nice UV parasol. I think it is a parasol that are UV. Normal brollies aren't UV, so it just gives you shade but doesn't give you any sun protection. So wee parasols, even like the wee parasols you get for buggies that clip on, you could clip that onto your carrier or your somewhere on your body, or your person,
or you could get one of those golf hats.
I got one. Don't worry, there's fun content coming up.
You are so pretty.
They're very exciting. So talking about hats and heads, what's next? We need to protect their wee one's head. That's something I see come up in a lot of things. Like someone will share a picture out in the sun with a baby with no hat on. Like, how do I protect their head? Put on a hat.
Yes.
Sun hats. Babies can have sun hats. Get a cap. Get one of those wee what are they called? Aviator style, that the ones that come out down like a behind your.
Yeah, they've got like a wee flap.
Yeah, you get a lot of like beach stuff. In the sales and stuff, or summer stuff, you're looking for swim costumes. They're usually in the swim section. The wee hats have got a rim on the front, and it's got like a wee tail down the back, and they've usually got UV protection as well, so they're perfect. Even though they're made for in the water, just use them in the carrier as well, because they protect everything, which is pretty handy.
Yeah, and as well, if you're using sunscreen, do remember it can go over hair. So if your child's starting to get to that age where they're getting a bit more hair, if they aren't just completely bald like mine were, you still need to put it down the line in their hair and put it onto their scalp, because the rays will go through this. It would go through here. For any of the children that are maybe a bit sort of looser necked and sort of still wobbling about, you can still use the sort of wee sausagey protection things on the backs of the carriers to help support the neck and the head. You still do your normal carrier fit. It's just you want to make sure that head is covered to shade the baby.
Head covered with a hat, not the carrier.
Yes.
Just to be
protect the airway.
Always. What's the next point that we would like to remind you of? That as a parent, I think is one of the things that most people will forget about, because they'll make sure the children have it or the babies has it and everyone else, but then you're like, oh, when was the last time I had one?
Yes. So staying hydrated. So I would say that's just across the board. Parents don't drink enough.
True.
I mean, the amount of times I've seen parents like tend to their children and their other family members and blah blah blah, and then they're like, oh, I've not eaten yet, or I've not had a drink, or so staying hydrated. So you need to make sure you're drinking enough fluid. That's especially important if you're a breastfeeding parent or a chest feeding parent, because again, children under 6 months cannot have water. So if you are offering them breast milk on demand, then you need to make sure you remain hydrated, because your body will give the child what they need. But
you need to replenish your stores.
Yes.
You need to keep yourself topped up so you can keep your baby topped up. And remember, if your baby has been in the carrier for a wee while, if you're out for a lot, break it up and give them a feed, offer them a feed if they haven't had one for a wee while, just to make sure that they are drinking plenty as well, even if it's breast milk or an older child that you can give water or a wee drink to. Make sure you're all hydrated nicely.
Yes. Being hydrated might mean that you feel a bit sweaty, because that's what we want to see. We want to see there's lots of fluids going about the place. That can sometimes, when you're carrying, that can sometimes be a bit of a
slippery, slobbery.
Key on the old chest. If you are carrying chest to chest and you do feel a bit sweaty, you can put a very light muslin in between you to stop that. I would say if you're going to do that, though, you need to make sure there's nothing near the airway. Because if we're putting any fabric in between you, if your child could get their face onto the fabric, it is a suffocation risk. So if you're going to put anything in between you, just make sure that it's very far below the airway, and ideally just put it in, give yourself a wipe and bring it back out. But if it's really
you get those nice cooling cloths as well that you can wet and they're really nice. Put it around your neck to keep you a wee bit cooler as well, or just give your chest a wipe down, kind of stuff it in the sides, under the boobs, and on your chest. Make sure you get all the sweaty bits. They could be really good. Also, if you go into like your hiking shops or outdoor shops, moisture wicking t-shirts or base layers, and obviously not, you don't want a base layer to stay warm, but you get lots of moisture wicking vests and t-shirts, which would be ideal. They're very, very thin. If you are going out and you want to wear a top, then it would be great to have a wee look at them, and they're usually pretty cheap, or Vinted and all your usual places you can get them cheap.
Yeah, but staying hydrated, very important. And again, if you're breastfeeding, you're going to make sure you do that on demand. If you are formula feeding or bottle feeding, you're going to make sure that they are getting the correct amount of formula or milk from the bottle. Children under 6 months, again, shouldn't get any water unless you've discussed that with your healthcare professional. Because there are some times when it is potentially okay, but that is with medical guidance. After that, you can offer them a little bit of boiled water and cooled boiled water in a bottle, but before 6 months, get some medical help first.
Yes, definitely, which we are not giving you. We are telling you to go and get that yourself if you need to. So the next one is, I think we can go over some options here as well. So your carrying choice. Obviously, there's a lot of people that will say, oh, I need a summer carrier, I need a summer sling, and that's great. And if you have the funds and the budget to do that, and you can go and buy a separate carrier for the summer, then that's great. And we will go over some options. But if you don't, then you can still use your own carrier that you use all year round in the summer. It doesn't have to be a specific. I think people get bogged down with because they see it so much that they have to have a summer one. It has to have linen or mesh or UV, and it has to be all this. But you don't need that, do you?
No.
You just need to follow all the other steps.
I don't have any of them, and I've carried all my kids through summer. I mean, again, I'm in Scotland, but but it is. I mean, there are some lovely carriers. So the Minimonkey is a really nice mesh option. It's you can get either the carrier or the
mini sling,
which is like a one shoulder. It's like a ring sling, but it's all in one part.
So popular in the summer. Mine are always out on hire.
Cheap as well, because it's like £39 to buy. So because it's quite cheap, it works wonders. It really does. It packs so small, so if you're going,
it's like that size.
Yeah, it's like,
I know you're listening to this and you can't see my hands, but it's like the size of your hand. You could fit it in a wee bum bag as well. It's pretty tiny.
So it is great to take on holiday. However, it only does up to about 18 months. So it's not ideal if you're trying to carry a 3-year-old. But it's made out of a really fine mesh. It's lovely. And
it sits really nice on your shoulder as well. So it's not one of those ones that's going to like dig in your neck. It is comfy.
And they do have a carrier now as well.
Yes, which is the full mesh carrier. So if you didn't want something that was one shoulder, then the carrier is ideal because it's got that full mesh coverage, but you've got your 2 shoulder, like a full buckle carrier, which is really lovely as well.
And the Minimonkey also does its twin carrier in mesh, which means that if you're carrying 2 babies in the heat,
you're going to get even hotter.
You're going to get all that breathability. So the Minimonkey is a really good brand to have a look at for mesh carriers.
I like the Melliapis as well. We will put in the show notes, we will put a list for you to have a wee look, and hopefully we'll get some pictures up for you as well. So the Melliapis is really nice as well. They do a water sling, which works really well when it's wet. You can use it dry, but it works the best when it's damp or wet, which is nice as well because you can have dampen up and put it on, and which will help keep you cool as well. And it's a lovely mesh fabric. It's great for like at the beach as well because the sand just runs through it. You don't get manky. Sun cream and sand is just nightmare. And they also have their muslin ones as well, which are lovely. Yes, and they're so light and breathable, and they are a lovely option as well.
They're the water ones are great because you can use them outside of hot weather as well. Like so my children are I was always told to reset your child, take them outside or put them in the water.
Which works.
It does. Take them outside and they calm down, put them in water, they calm down. So sometimes I would need to put mine in either a bath or a shower. If they need to be carried, using a water sling in the shower is a really nice way to bond with your child and calm them.
And also, you don't have to worry about putting a baby in a bouncer or a seat and watch them or have them in the bathroom while you're trying to have a shower. Obviously, be careful with what soaps and stuff you're using,
Yeah.
but you can go in the shower with your baby. And for me, I love that with my second, just being able to put him in the ring sling. He would just settle. He would love the water running down his back and over his head. And I would just be able to get a shower and breathe and be like, he's happy. I'm not panicking that I can hear him screaming when he's in another room. It's like, it was so nice. So you can use it in that and the beach and paddling. And
you can use it as a standard carrier. So it doesn't need to be summer or warm weather or in the water. You can just use them. One of my favorites, I talk about it all the time, KahuBaby. They have their UV sunshine carrier. So it's got UPF 50 in it. So the fabric is like wearing 50 factor sunscreen. So it's nice, it's lightweight, it's a simple carrier.
Packed down super small again for traveling, or if you're wanting to borrow one for a holiday, it's a great option as well.
Lots of patterns as well, which is
really
nice.
funky. Obviously, I like the rainbow one.
You do. The rainbow one's cute. I like the splashy blue one. That's my favorite.
Yes, that one is quite cool as well.
It's really nice.
Yeah. There's also, similar to the Kahu, you've also got the Integra Solar, which is the same. It's kind of like, both of them are kind of like parachute fabric, aren't they? They're not stretchy. They're kind of that super lightweight, breathable. So as well, you could use them like at the beach and get splashed and it will dry in in the sun in 5 minutes, which is really good as well. What other carriers do we have in the summer? I'm trying to think. There's some, you've got your Tulas that have mesh in the middle. Izmi is a really nice one, another good traveling one because it packs down super small.
Ergobaby also have
mesh options. With the Ergobaby, the mesh, it's like 3 layers or 2 layers of mesh, so it's not right on the mesh. So although it is mesh and a wee bit more breathable than their cotton ones, it's not as light as like the Tula, which has like the mesh panel.
You've also got the Beco Gemini and the Beco Hate. Both of them have mesh panels. The Gemini has that gel fabric,
which it's helps kind of pull squishy.
Helps pull the heat away.
One of my favorites as well is the Love and Carry, because that's really got nice, the whole panel. So you could get it for all year, and in the summer unzip the middle and it exposes the mesh middle panel, and then when it gets a bit colder, when you get winter or autumn or the rest of the year apart from that one day, then you zip up the panel and you have like a full panel carrier as well. So that's a really nice one, and it's a lovely layer of mesh as well. So I think if we think of any more, we didn't write a list, but that's our favorites and that's the most popular ones that we know of. But we will pop up a wee list of like our top 10 or whatever.
You might find that you want to avoid carriers that are really thick and heavy when it's really hot. So if you are a woven person, you might want to go for something that's silk or linen, something like that. That's going to help be breathable and let the air flow. 100% cotton is always a nice option.
Can't go wrong. And if it does get manky, and shove it in the wash. Which is handy.
Actually, that's the problem with silk, because it's hand wash.
Out with the toothbrush again.
Also, I have a merino wool wrap, and it is really light and breathable. It's
I've got a couple of merino ones. When you think of wool as well, most people think cozy and snuggly and winter, but it's really, really great because it's thermal regulating and it's a lovely. Cashmere wraps are beautiful in the summer. They're so thin and lovely. And what about stretchy wraps?
Again, the bamboo ones would be my choice, just because they have that extra sort of. They're nicer.
They are just lovely. We've got my favorite is Joy and Joe Baby and Hana Baby, and Izmi have just brought out a new one that feels like water. It is lovely. So they are all really nice ones. So just remember that with a stretchy wrap, you still need your 3 layers, and that counts as a layer of clothing. So each layer that you've got of a woven wrap, of a stretchy wrap, of a sling or carrier counts as at least 1 layer. A woven wrap can count as 1, 2, or 3. A ring sling is 1, and a stretchy wrap is always 3 because you always need those 3 layers over baby. So you may want to look at other options or break up a wee bit more if you are using a stretchy, because I remember my first was a summer baby, and it was hot going. And just being able to and I had a thick thick stretched up, and I was a sweaty mess. This is before I knew things, and I was a sweating beast.
I had winter babies, I'm telling you, it's the way to go.
See, the second was planned for winter. I was like, I'm not doing that again. So what would be our last kind of point for on here?
Yeah, we have notes.
Just checking.
Last point. You don't have to carry and you can rest. It is so important that when you are exerting yourself in the heat. So I come from a family where if you're going on holiday, you are on holiday. We don't do beaches, we don't lie and do nothing, honestly. It's like a military operation with my parents. So
Can I come?
It's always entertaining. So when we go on holiday, we do stuff from the moment we get up to the moment we go to bed. So if we used to go to Florida, for example, to Disney, and we would get up, we'd go to the parks.
That's not a rest. That's not a rest. That's hard work.
It's a long day. And because you want to see and do everything, so we would go and see and do everything. And by the end of the day, we'd be collapsing. Like, I genuinely had heat stroke. I don't know how many times because we were doing stuff, and I'd forget my sun cream, and I'd forget to be in the shade.
And you're Scottish.
Strength.
Shouldn't a good mix.
So if you are in an event like that and you're like, well, I need to do all these things, you don't need to carry. You can use a pushchair. You can give the child to someone else to carry. And also,
a lot of people have that kind of if you see me, I get it sometimes. People see me and they're using a buggy and they're like, oh, don't have the carrier underneath. Or it's like, it's up to you. Use a carrier when you want to, but if you use a buggy, nobody's going to shout at you. It's a tool. Exactly. So sometimes it might be good to use the buggy if you have one to kind of break it up. Have baby in the sling for a wee while and then put them in the buggy to give both of you a rest, not just baby as well, because if you're getting all sweaty and hot and sticky, then you want to take baby out a wee bit as well and give them a breather. And also babies need to move around and have different positions to be in as well.
Also, like, you will be exerting yourself more. So you'll be burning more calories, you'll be hot, you'll be sweaty, your joints will feel different because of the heat. So it's worthwhile remembering that you're a person too and you need to rest. And certainly resting doesn't just look like taking the baby off. It could just be sitting down for a cold drink and a chat with somebody in the shade. You can rest like that and keep the baby on, or you could take them off and give them to somebody else and have a rest that way. Genuinely doesn't matter.
Definitely.
But you do need to rest. And don't go for...
And rest in the shade.
Yes, and don't do what I do and just work 1,000 miles an hour and then be confused when you collapse. So
we're like, oh, why did that happen?
It happened.
I don't know, I've been taking it easy. I'm on holiday. Not always. And another option that we love for in the summer is the Carry Fit carrier, our wonderful sponsor, because that is a lovely lightweight. It's not mesh, but it's a lovely, breathable. It's very, very breathable. It is very light carrier, and it's a great one because it is so lovely and comfy and stretchy, and it makes a great one as well.
Yes. So absolutely you can try any of these carriers. If you're looking for some support on how to use them, obviously you can get in touch with us. We can do video fit checks and everything. So please do get in touch if you need any help. We will put all this in the show notes. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else for the sunshine that we need to think about.
I think we've got everything covered, basically. If you do want to hire any of those options that we've mentioned, then I also have them all available for hire as well. So if you want to try them out before you buy, and if you want any discount codes to buy any, then you can ask us as well, because we have them to share. I don't think there's anything else. Everyone thinks that there's a lot that you have to think about, but it's
common sense.
Yeah, most of the time it is common sense. So yeah, if you are listening and you're like, oh, but I still have questions, ask us. That's what we're here for. We want to hear from you so we know what you want, so we can tell you and inform you. And with all of our experience put together, these are the kind of points that we always cover. So when anyone asks us, these are the ones that we cover to make sure that you're safe, you're comfortable, and you can enjoy the heat without panicking too much or stressing. And when it comes to winter, we will do a winter option as well, because it will be the same. If it's too hot, what do I worry about? It's too cold, what do I worry about? We've got you covered.
Yes. So like we were saying, any problems, do get in touch. But other than that, we'll let you go and have a lovely day.
I hope you've enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments as well. And it's so nice to actually be touching.
Yes, they exist in real life. I am a 3D
Exactly.
person.
If you're only listening and you're not watching the video, then I am snuggling up
She's
to Gemma.
me. I feel violated.
Just nudge me away. I'm going to leave soon. See you in the next one.
Bye.